Hey, what's up, guys? It's Citizen Ears here with All Collectibles, and let's go over a smaller PSA sub. It's, to my knowledge, this is all Japanese Nubec, which is like just become the norm for me. Palkia EX from Megalo Cannon, just the regular EX Ultra Rare. Any cards with the legendaries I think are always good. Trevenant EX. This was a CGC, either a CGC 8 or a CGC 8.5 that I cracked. I can't remember. It was below a 9. I can remember that much at least. And looking at it, it's a pretty clean card. That was like my biggest issue with the CGC, secret rares and full arts that I had is most of them looked super nice, and I thought were worth kind of chancing. And this obviously worked out. I came back, got the PSA 10. Next up, Darmanitan from Freezebolt. I know this is a Pop 1 card, so let's throw up my little infographic. Population 1. This is I always say this, like Kawayu is one of my favorite artists. So, it's a Kawayu art. That's why it's just like this random uncommon I throw in. But it is just, dude, he made Darmanitan look like an absolute beast. Oh shit, there's a giant spider on the wall right next to me. We'll take care of that later. This is not a good grade. Ho-Oh from Dragon Blade, just the base EX pulled PSA 8. So, that's rough. Okay. This is definitely the issue. I probably didn't notice that sending it in. There is a dent on that corner. And a heavier dent pretty much always brings a mint card down to a 7. This isn't as bad, so I'm guessing that's why it came down to the 8. I really gotta check that stuff better. I recommend either getting like a nice desk lamp if you want to look at cards, or that's really what I should do, especially with the volume that I send cards out at this point. But I just end up using the cell phone camera that I'm using to record this video. I just have the flashlight on. Hail Blizzard Growlithe. This is nice Fukuda artwork. I forget the name of the city, which is bad because oh shoot, the spider disappeared. Oh, it's a big ass spider, man. Damn. But yeah, this is I'm actually distracted. It's right next to me, right there. You can't see it. But yeah, just Growlithe in the city. This is like a pretty popular line during like the Black and White. Even X and Y does it. You just see Pokemon like in the actual cities from the games, which I think was a nice touch. I'm not really sure if we've seen much Scarlet and Violet stuff that emulates it. We have a Soul Silver Collection Pichu. I believe this was my CGC 8.5 copy that I cracked, and it crossed over to a PSA 10. Ooh, this one has some edge wear. Not wear, but it's, yeah. You could just classify that as wear. Comes back to 9. This is the Blastoise Hollow. It's a reprint of Deluge Blastoise. That's what the effect is. But this comes from, I've graded cards from decks in the past. This is technically a deck with Kyurem EX. But yeah, it's a deck card, but each deck only has 1 hollow. It comes with, I think, 3 Blastoise, but the other 2 are non-hollows. That had a definite amount of wear that I could pick up the moment I flipped it around. Same thing with this one, some edge wear, and it comes back a 9. Ooh, yeah, that's... I don't know if I should have graded this. I thought I was being too strict on my card, so I started sending stuff that was more borderline. Dragon Blade Garchomp in a 9. Modern. Relatively modern. These hollows really have to pull 10. I've always said that. You see a little edge wear on the bottom. Not that bad, though. I think this could have maybe gotten a 10, but... at least it was on a Garchomp. If the Darmanitan non-hollow I got rated a 9, I probably wouldn't have cared because I kind of wanted the card for myself. But yeah, that's rough. Dark Rush Bulbasaur, really, this artwork became really popular. Someone I know, Pokemon Steven, he sold a copy for like 400 or so on eBay, I saw. And since then, they've definitely dropped because it's one of those things like when you're the first to market for a lot of cards, you're competing with nobody. But once there is a large sale, people will send that stuff in mass to PSA. That's same thing that happened like in COVID times, like with the boom. I don't know if you're allowed to say that COVID on YouTube, but yeah, like it's the same thing with this. People have graded a lot of copies, so I graded 1 copy in 10. And at the end of the day, even if it's not worth what it once was, it is still one of the original starters with relatively low pop. So we graded it to 10. This is a nice one. Espeon from Dark Rush. Dark Rush is a pretty dope set. If you're going to open any of the Black and White sets, I don't think you can go wrong with Dark Rush because you can pull Espeon. We're going to see it in this sub, I believe, as well. There's a Flareon and Umbreon from the set. Graded one of those Espeons in 10. It's nice artwork, too, from Mizuye. I don't know if it's Mizuye, but that's how I went around without saying it. But they have really nice artwork. It's always definitely more on the cutesy side, like very much. How do you say it? People say, can you say this like the kawaii aesthetic, just the cute art style? Reviving Legends Entei in a 7. Jesus, that is rough. I think I bought the. Ooh, okay. You can see right there that corner is lifting. It's like bent there, so that's what I was saying. Like bends on cards typically get 7'd. So yeah, that's a really fair grade. Dragon Selection Salamence in a 10. I am happy to get these cards back in 10. They're slow sellers too, and that's like the other thing is how many people do you know are actively looking for the Articuno EX from Plasma Gale? But at the same time too, I think for a lot of these cards, I'm not competing with a lot. I think there might only be a couple people with that card up for sale at the moment. I have the full art as well, and the full art is sick. Oh Jesus, why'd I grade this? PSA 5 EX Battle Boost Charizard. Pop 1, I'm pretty sure. We'll put that up on the screen. The Pop 1, baby. You can list it as a Pop 1. You know, I think there's a dent right there. Is that it though? Because hear me out. If that's the only dent on the card, why is this a 5? Because we just saw cards with heavier dents. Like this card literally has the whole corner lifting like that. It came back a 7. And this Charizard just has 1 dent and it comes back a 5. I don't know. This guy is crazy too. I'm pretty sure. I'll throw it up right now. Let's see. Is it Pop 1? I'm gonna guess it is Pop 1. It's right on the screen. Yippee! This Aipom. This is a Naoki Saito Aipom. Pretty funny artwork. Naoki Saito is just obviously a really popular artist for the waifus. And the waifu cards, the full art trainers, and the champion festivals. I thought this one was just sick, man. Look at the Aipoms. This one, what the hell is this one up to? He did something bad, or he's like in shock. And this is the mischievous one, and this one's just like I don't know. This one's chilling. It's just cool. These are I bought a bunch of these random XY commons that I thought had nice art, and I picked out the really mint copies to send off. Battle Rain Garchomp PSA 10. This is pretty dope because I'm pretty sure this was a CGC 9.5 that I auctioned off a couple times. I think twice, and both times it went for pretty much the price of the raw card and didn't get paid for. And at that point, I was like, screw it, I'll just crack it and send it off to PSA and roll the odds there. Dark Rush Entei PSA 10 is a sick one. This is the full art Dark Rush Entei. Pretty nice. I mean, this is definitely a 10. Look how nice the back is. I'll cover up so you can kind of see the whitening if there is any. But this is just good art, man. 5-band graphics, like they still work for Pokemon. And I think the first time I was really introduced to them was in Sun and Moon. That's when I began to pay attention to the illustrators of the cards. And they did all the GXs essentially. Yeah, just with the CGI art. But man, the cards in Sun and Moon just look so whack compared to what they were doing in like XY, but especially Black and White. They were cooking back then. Shining Darkness Charmeleon. This is, I think, a decently low pop card, so I'll have that on the screen. But it is a Nishida artwork, and she's just a great artist. Look at that. It's cool too, because it's actually like on an angle almost, kind of like Himeno stuff in this era began to be on an angle. But yeah, just pretty cool. Relatively low population Charmeleon. Thought it was decent artwork. I'm not sure if I bought this card, if it like individually, if it was part of a larger lot I had. Giratina. I don't think it was this video. I think a different video I just recorded. I mentioned to look out for the name Hajime Kusujima because it's good art. You can you just search the artist on like Cerebi and go through and you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, this is one of the better. This is probably one of the best Giratina arts. This might be the best individual Giratina art, especially on a holo. But you just see him right there, man, with the moon illuminating him, with the almost like the stars or the sparkle on the holo. This came back a 9. This was definitely a kind of a YOLO throw-in because it has that edge wear. I'm still trying to learn more about what PSA considers a 9, and you always see the thing that PSA is inconsistent. That's what they're most consistent at, being inconsistent. And my 9s vary a lot. So then we have Reg Challenge Full Art. This card is so stupid. This was like a $20 card for the longest time raw, and I had a lot of CGC copies I sold through, and I regraded my CGC all with PSA, and I've been selling them for around that 150 range, which is really good for what this card is, because you could still buy them raw for cheaper than that and grade your own copies. Now I just I checked this card. The cheapest listed on eBay is $450 from Japan, and that's only PSA 10 listed right now. Damn, this card is insane. All these full arts are so stupidly expensive now, man. And that depends on when this video comes out. That might have changed, but who knows? This one is sick. This is Cookie Saito Psyduck, Miracle of the Desert. My boy is face planted, X's over the eye. He's just clocked out. Look at him. This really good PSA 10, and that is always dope. And dude, this is a 20-year-old Psyduck card, or Kodak, as the Japanese convention goes. This is a pretty sick one. Cofagrigus reverse. I don't know what BTD stands for. It might be Battle Theme Deck, but it is from like it's like I don't even know what you call it. It's like a sealed product that has 6 hollows, reverse hollows, all with this like star hollow. I don't actually know what the official name of it. It is sick. It's mostly a Victini product, so you have the Victini stamp there. But I thought this was really cool. Oh, and look at that. Shin Nagasawa, another artist that I tend to always get cards back from. And I say to myself, wow, that's a really nice art. I look at the bottom, and that's who did it. This is another popular artwork, Suicune from Rage of the Broken Heavens. This is one of the more popular Arita artworks from like kind of X and Y in Post. I mean, how can you go wrong with that art, man? Just Suicune, like gliding over the water. It's gorgeous. This is phenomenal art, and definitely one of, I understand why people gravitate towards this out of all the Rita stuff from like the later era. Metamon Ditto, PSA 10 Hollow from Cold Flare. Pretty cool card. Best of XY Espeon, EX, just simple. Evolution, PSA 10 from relatively older now. I guess 2017 isn't that old, but I think it's still worth grading. If people can justify buying and selling, the Espeon GXs and Vs from Sun and Moon to Sword and Shield, I think you can't go wrong with the EX from X and Y. This is what I was talking about. Dark Rush has a Flareon artwork as well. It's pretty easy to pull too. It is only a common in the set. So again, to me, Dark Rush is just a really good set in terms of value of what you can get. Ooh, this one is so cute to me, man. Growlithe from Shiny Collection. Just one of them absolutely knocked out. The other one yawning, about to tuck her in. With look at that, man. And it's the full arts, the same thing. Like the full art Japanese is just so much nicer in terms of quality and the texture depth. And like, look at how nice the Shiny Collection Hollow is compared to the English. You just manipulate it in the light and you see like all different layers to it. It really elevates the card. This is so we have this card from Rage of the Broken Heavens, the super popular Suicune. And then this is a card that I just like, kind of similar backgrounds to with the Sunset, but it's a Kirasaki Slowbro. And my boy is just beautiful. He's glowing in that. So I graded a couple of those. I've been throwing that in with past subs, and I think I've gotten PSA 10 on every copy I've sent in. Eevee, just from this looks like a Zekrom theme deck. PSA 9. Other copy got PSA 10. I'm curious on the pop, so I'll have that on the screen right now, but I'm guessing it's low pop because I graded the Reshiram deck Eevees, and I was the only person that had any of them. This was Tornadus EX. This was a CGC 8 that I cracked. It crossed up to a PSA 10, which is crazy. But this is not black and white. It's from Emerald Break XY. It's nice though, man. Like, it is equivalent to a raw. Like, this was a raw mint copy that I bought from a store in Japan, and I always felt that the CGC grades were always harsh on this era, and evidently so. It comes up 2 points higher, and Ninetales from black and white. I kind of want to go through this stack a little sooner because this video is getting long. Oh, there it is, the Dark Rush Umbreon I'm talking about. Beautiful art, man. It's a Tokia. Dude, if you're gonna collect cards too, I think it's also really good to learn the artist. Tokia just hits, man. He doesn't do art for Pokemon anymore. I think he retired 2018. But he is just a great backlog. I mean, this Charizard right here from EX Battle Boost is also one of his classics. Shining Darkness Charmander, a Fukuda. This is a funny card because I kept grading this card because I had so many nice copies, and I think every copy has come back PSA 10. But I mean, I think I'm one of the few people grading them, and I've essentially like tripled the pop in the time of these subs. Kawayu, Druddigan. I was trying to get this in a 10, and I got it in a different sub, so this is whatever. Here it is, the EX Battle Boost Charizard, that Tokia artwork. Beautiful card. I do kind of like, I think I prefer the fact that EX Battle Boost in Japanese is a non-holo, so you can kind of appreciate the background more. 5 band graphics, just whatever. They did all the CGI hollows from Black and White. But here it is, the Samurott. Pulls a 10. Dark Rush Umbreon, another one we got back, and a PSA 9. So, I mean, dude, this card is so damn good. This actually might be one of my favorite Black and White cards. Just look at that, man. Like, that is so gorgeous. Tokyo is such a talent. Well, I guess he still is such a talent, just not doing Pokemon cards. We have Rayquaza from Dragon Selection. Dragon Selection's a weird set to me, too, because I think every card in it is a holo. And obviously, they're all Dragon Pokemon, so you have some pretty good cards in that. I think Rayquaza and maybe Dragonite are the two best cards in the whole set. Speaking of Dragon... Oh, this is... It's not Dragonite. It's Thunder Knuckle Dragonite. Here we go. Pretty cool. Another Dragon Pokemon PSA 10. The Dragon cards are nice with... I think the colors complement the border well. The holo borders. Always good to get those in 10. Freezewell Charizard pulls a 9. It's whatever, because we pulled the 10 right after. Both of these are unlimited as well. I'm not sure how much rarer that was at this point. I get a little foggy with the rarity, but to my knowledge, like all of the unlimited Japanese stuff should be rarer. It doesn't really do anything significant, because most people prefer the first edition stamp. Here we have Cold Flare Blastoise, the Deluge Blastoise that lets you accelerate water energy. I've graded a couple of these now in PSA 10. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like to also see the back of the cards when I get them back, just to kind of see if, because obviously when you send stuff in, you have some conception of what the cards will grade, but it's nice to kind of confirm after the fact, like, okay, this is acceptable with a PSA 10. Another one, Cold Flare, actually both Cold Flare cards. We pulled the Scizor. I kind of thought, this one just looks sick to me, man. Just the red Scizor on the pretty much all gray and white card really pops. Another Dragon Blade Ho and a PSA 8. Oh, same thing right there. Yeah, you can see it right there. It's dented. Definitely just like pressure on the card hasn't moved, so that's why it comes back to 8, because it looked mint, but with the dents. And, but the thing is, like, that dent is equivalent to the dent on this Charizard, and the Charizard comes back a PSA 5, so it's whatever. We're gonna end it on Dark Rust Bulbasaur, another 10. Okay, so 2 more 10s, so that's not great, because now I have 3 of them. 3 of these are kind of tough to sell. It's the same thing with that Shining Darkness Charmander. I kept grading them, and they kept coming back 10s, but they don't sell often, so you end up just sitting on them. And we're going to end this smaller sub with another Palkia Megalocannon base EX. Alright, that's it for this sub. If you saw any cards you like, feel free to let me know about them, or check out my website in the link below. But as always, thanks for watching. Have a nice one.